What a cute pair of kitties. So we've got a before and after here, before on the left, after on the right. Now I've just got this already set up with the 2x upscale. So the new output size is 1696 by 2528. And if I just move this around a little bit, you can see that even on the after, I hope you can see anyway, it's not a very clear shot. Now this preview's updated on the right hand side, and although we haven't adjusted the sharpening yet, the image has remained quite soft from the original, whereas typically you would get a little bump in crispness and clarity on an upscale even before you've changed any of the model settings. But that's okay, because we can treat that separately ourselves in a minute. So now I can see there's not actually a huge amount of difference between the before and the after on this particular shot already. I'm just going to go to the full screen kind of preview here and just have a little look around. So my instinct would be to go for the usual high fidelity, but I'm not sure on this one, to be honest. We might be going for the low res. So I'm definitely going to do an A/B test on this. But what I actually might do is more than an A/B. I might go standard, high fidelity, low res, and art and CG. So you can compare here up to 4 models independently, or together, should I say. And to be honest, we could get the best result out of any one of those on this particular job. So I'm going to click compare, and we're going to wait for them to all be split up into their own windows so we can have a look. So top left, we've got standard V2 model. Top right, we've got low resolution. Bottom left, we've got high fidelity V2. And bottom right, we've got art and CG. So now, before I've adjusted any of this model settings individually, I'm just scanning around and seeing which one of these immediately looks better to my eyes. Now they look fairly similar, apart from the art and CG one in the bottom right, which has got a very kind of not overpriced, but a very processed look to it. So it looks like it's definitely been pushed in terms of the amount of processing. I'm just going to drop the magnification down a bit so we can see a little bit more of the overall key. So I mean, I kind of do like that in a way, because of how much more it pops compared to the others. But I do think it's actually taken some of the edges of the fur a little bit too far, and they've started to get that sort of crispy haloing to them. And because this is base settings with nothing else really available to reduce, it's already taken it a little bit too far. So I'm going to knock that one out of the running here. So now we're just left with the others. So we're really looking at between standard V2, high fidelity V2, and the low resolution one. So let me just go back to 100%, wait for them all to update. There we go. Okay, so again, the facial details and stuff, there really is no difference to mine, or very small difference. So I'm looking now at the things like the fur at the edge of the head here and stuff like that. God, I don't want to spend any more time on this, because there's not enough difference to warrant it. So I'm going to go for high fidelity V2, and what I'm going to do now is just go down to the model settings, and I'm going to be quite generous with the sharpening, but keeping an eye out for the for over sharpening of the hair, the fur at the side of the head. Let me just let those settings update. It's getting a little bit crispy up at the top and top of the ears there. So you can back that off a little bit. Maybe I'll try drag up the fixed compression on this one slightly, or moderately, to see if that cleans up any areas, which it kind of has done. So I think what we're going to be best to do here would be to take this into a photo editor afterwards, and maybe sharpen up some of the parts of the image a little bit more, and so we're not over sharpening the edge. In fact, I'll do that now quickly, because it won't take long. So I'll join you in a second in Photopea. Okay, so I'm in Photopea now, and I've got the image I've just exported from Topaz Gigapixel. Let's just double check the image size to make sure we are working with the correct version. Yep, so we've got that new or large version. Now this seems quite it seems quite soft overall. The fur obviously is meant to be soft, but the eye details and the nose and the mouth, things like that, they just seem a little bit lacking. So what I'm going to do is duplicate the layer by pressing Ctrl or Command J. I'm going to go to Filter, Sharpen, and then Unsharp Mask. Now what I'm going to do is, again, I'm only looking at the face features really, forget all the hair around the outside because I'm going to be masking this in. I need to take the amount down to start with, it's too high. I need to take the radius down, because if we have it too high, you can see it's just going to make this horrible HDR effect, which was also take the radius down to maybe 0.1 pixels, something really small, subtle. And if we go very low with the radius, it allows us to take the amount up without it being too harsh on the image. So I might just creep this radius up a little bit. Okay, now I'll just click preview on and off, before and after. Fairly subtle, but yeah, if I jump too much it starts to go into crazy territory, so it's very easy to overdo. But what I'm going to do here, I'm going to click OK to that. Now overall that looks overdone, but I'm using this selectively, so I just create a layer mask. I'll press Ctrl or Command I to invert that layer mask so it's not showing. Press B for my brush tool, and the foreground color is white, which means I'm going to be able to paint in where I want this layer to be exposed. And I want to just use this on basically the eyes, just to brighten and sharpen up those eyes. And maybe on the nose, just the little nose and the little lips and the bit around the mouth. I don't want to go across the main fur with it because I do not want to sharpen that soft, nice soft fur. Maybe I'll just do a little bit on his feet down there, those little toe beans. And again, fairly subtle, but that will just make it pop on a layout with other images, because the eyes really do kind of tell a story, and they're the first thing that people gravitate towards from a human or an animal point of view, generally, is the eyes. So if the eyes look good, people tend to think the image looks good.